Good afternoon. My name is Abakari Hamisi Goa, the MD Kenya Ferry Services Limited. I'm here to give you an update about the incident that occurred yesterday evening. We are now at the second level of recovery, both the vehicle and the victims affected. We've brought the first assessment done by our security agents, Kenya Navy, and from the assessment, the vehicle is much deeper than we anticipated. That should be beyond a level of 600 meters, 60 meters below, probably at the seabed. So the facilities that are available cannot trace the location of that vehicle and the victims. So now we've engaged another firm which is coming in the next up to 1 hour with the necessary facility, both to locate and start the recovery of both the vehicle and the people on board that vehicle. So we need more time because of the state of the currency of the waters. Right now it's very harsh, and we don't want to risk and involve an expert to handle this situation, so that by the end of the day we save time and also we don't expose other people to unnecessary risk because of this rescue mission. So we need to wait for some time. Within 1 hour we'll be able to start the recovery process, so that we first locate the area or the location of the vehicle and we plan for the recovery. Based on the nature of the bed and also the depth involved, we might not conclude the entire recovery by end of today, because we'll have to bring some machinery, including a mobile crane. We have to bring some pontoons. So for now, the most important thing is to know the state, we know where it is, and then we start the entire recovery. You may also appreciate that this type of work, you cannot do it when it is a rush time or peak time for ferry operations because of safety issues. Again, this type of service, you cannot do it when it is dark. You need enough light for both the divers and also the equipment to work efficiently.
But MD, as we speak right now, it's already past 2 o'clock. 4 o'clock the rush will start. Is there any hope that the operation will start today?
I've mentioned that the first thing is to locate the vehicle and the bodies in the vehicle. So that process can take up to 2 hours when it starts, because much as we anticipate a specific position where it is, when it's not there, we'll have to trace it the entire operation area. Probably if we are lucky enough, we'll be able to trace it just within here, but we are also anticipating that it may have been drifted towards the port, possibly a range of 100 meters. So all that search requires a lot of time, and the type of facility involved also are highly technical. You need to have echo sounding boat to do that. That's what we are waiting for. Immediately we get that boat and the necessary equipment, then we can start the recovery process. But it's unlikely we shall conclude by end of today because of the nature of the operation. Facility to locate, Kenya Ferry doesn't have those facilities. In fact, for now, even our stakeholders, some of the major stakeholders don't have that. We are relying on one person, which we hope will carry the end of the day, and that's now a firm called Subsea, which we've contacted, and that's the firm we rely to do the entire operation.
It's a private entity?
Yeah, it's a private entity.
But MD, many are questioning, how come Kenya Ferry Services does not have divers? And two, I would like you to comment on the ramp that 2 of your ferries, are they in good condition?
This type of operation doesn't require divers. We all need to appreciate that, because you can only recover the vessel. You cannot save the vehicle as it was sinking. So the issue of divers does not come in. What we have is lifesavers within our operation, and those are the type of people we will use to salvage and quickly save life in case of any problem. Yes, in terms of vessels, you are right. Two of the vessels, MV Nyayo and MV Harambe, have challenges with the lifting of the doors, and this is because of their age. These vessels are very old, and again, we're using it on a safety precaution, but they are not that up to date in terms of ensuring that the lifting is done to satisfactory level.
There were allegations that the family was initially supposed to work with you and facilitate themselves in the rescue operations. Are those allegations true? Number two, the family says you have taken so long to respond. Is it true? And what exactly, what kind of communication is from them?
Yeah, as you mentioned, those allegations, we've met the family and explained the technicalities involved. They wanted to engage some private persons to undertake this type of operation, and we advise, based on the technical advice we received from Kenya Navy, that it is very risky to involve an individual who may not that competent to handle this type of work, because that may amount to exposing the individual to unnecessary risk. So we've agreed with them, we are working with them, we've already briefed them about what we are doing, and we are working closely with them to ensure that there is a safe recovery of the entire vehicle and also the people involved. So in terms of using other persons not recommended by Kenya Navy, KPA, that's very risky. And already we are in a tragedy. We don't want to have more tragedies.
In future, how is Kenya Ferry equipping itself to avert such situations?
Aversing, again, first of all, it's information sharing and sensitization, because you may understand that most of these issues, especially this type, may have been caused by ignorance on how to play safe while on board the vessel. So that is one area we will focus to educate ferry users on the need to follow instructions, including like if it's a motor vehicle, you switch off your engine, you need to unfasten your belts. While on board, you need to open the windows of their vehicles, because that's the only way you can quickly move out of the vehicle in case of any mishap. Again, to the other members of the public, yeah, this was a reversing vehicle. So you can imagine when people were standing behind this vehicle, what could have happened. So those are the type of information we want to share with people. Moving forward, it's also in terms of the vessel. For the old vessels, we are planning to replace the old vessels, because these vessels are very old. So the only way to deal with the issues of the vessel, especially on the lifting part, is to do a replacement. And you are aware that one of the vessels will be coming and be delivered to Kenya Ferry in the month of January. So progressively, we also have plans to replace MV Harambe, which is a worse situation, and MV Nyayo, so that we have safer vessels to operate. Thank you.
Do you confirm that there were only two occupants in the vehicle and she was indeed, it was a reverse, because you are checking the CCTV footage to ascertain what actually happened yesterday?
Yes, this was confirmed from the CCTV footages which we checked, and the vehicle on board was one of the last vehicles. It was in the last row in terms of the vehicles on board this ferry, and exactly whether it is reversed or it was in motion before it now plunged in water. That is something we still further investigating. But from the clip, you've seen that it moved backwards and then it plunged in water.
Yeah. Was there a possibility to rescue the occupants between the time it plunged and the time it is submerged?
To rescue the occupant, that could have been a very big challenge. Because one, if it was immediately after the ramp, there are high chances, because that's the time when the vessel is still a shorter distance from the waters, and on several occasions you have seen some rescues being done to people and also to the vehicles. But when it is at that level, it is very unlikely, because once the vehicle starts to sink, you imagine what will happen. It creates a form of a cyclone. So it creates a hollow as you move down. So any form of rescue could be also in another way, trying to endanger the persons who are doing the rescue. So it was unlikely that there was a way to do it in a safer way to the people who are conducting it.
In terms of enforcement of these safety measures?
Very key, and the first part of the enforcing is to make people aware, so that people are aware on the safe mode to board and move away from the vessels. That is very key. The other part is to reinforce the security part, so that by the end of the day we check on these vehicles. We also make sure that those persons who may not wish to follow the safety measures, necessary action is taken on them.